Sorted his bags out and I put his cotton shoes on, all ready to go.
You're my hero, thank you. You do me a favour, will you bob him over to Ross's?
Debbie's okay, yeah?
She's doing all right, yeah, physically. Mentally, I'm not so sure. I mean, she's back with Joe, isn't she, so...
Does it still matter if we like him?
Babe, you know why it matters. I just don't want you getting hurt, OK? I know I'm not much cop at any of this, but that's the only thing I want, is all of you lot safe. And you won't be with him. Come on, let's hug it out. Hey, group hug. Come on. I love you.
Tell Debbie to get better, yeah?
I'll text her how she is.
See you later then.
Haven't had bad news, have you?
No, I'm on my way to see her now, actually.
Your daughter is tougher than 100 gun-toting burglars put together.
Yeah. Well, she's mine, isn't she?
Oh, yeah. She's yours, all right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Thanks, babe. See you later.
Nigel, wasn't supposed to be hearing back from you yet. Well, 'cause quick usually means you've drawn a blank. Go on, then. What have you got? Well, Charity, hang on a sec. Could you email that over to me? That's great, thanks. Yeah, chat later.
Before you start, I haven't got an update, OK? Nobody's been charged, no one's got any evidence, so please, for once, could you just not rake it up again?
We both know where they could find some, though, don't we? And if they did, he's looking at 15 years at least. But I heard you talking yesterday. That man changed the course of your life. Your relationship with your kids, partners, everything. There is something you can do. You can make him pay for it.
Not like this. That box stays closed.
That baby boy you had, it's the only thing left, the only way to a conviction. Those records, the DNA, if there's any chance...
There isn't, OK? It's not worth it.
Look, I've just spoken to...
Harriet, just stop! He's dead. He's gone. No one is going to find him. And Bales, he's a cockroach. He survives. A wild goose chase from my dead little boy isn't going to touch him. He's hopeless. And I've accepted that, OK? You should too.
Dead little boy?
We are counting down 90 from the 90s all week, and this one is a killer. It's Adamski.
She said it was a difficult birth. She wasn't sure how he died, but there were complications. She was only 14. I'm sure she'd have told you herself when she was ready.
She's not much of a talker. And I get why she didn't.
Well, that's the only reason I pushed. I thought it might help to find out more.
More?
What exactly happened to him? And if he wasn't cremated, well, there might be a grave somewhere she could go and visit.
To say goodbye.
And there's the possibility of finding DNA.
That's a lot to face.
Yeah. She just told me she won't go there. Doesn't have to stop us, though. I asked a friend of mine to do some digging. He didn't get anywhere with the official records, but he found a lead at the hospital, someone who worked in maternity in 1990, still does now. She might be able to help. And if we get that DNA, it might prove Bales is the father.
Then all of this wasn't for nothing.
He said he'll keep quiet, but I'm dead to him.
Do you think he will?
Yeah. Yeah, he meant it.
Hey, How's the world's worst patient doing?
Great. The nurses love me because I keep trying to get out of bed on my own.
Is it the pain, babe? Do you want me to get a nurse?
It's just a shock.
Actually,
She said that she could really do with some decent food.
yeah. You check what they got in the canteen for me.
What's the big secret?
Nothing.
Fine, well, I'll get it out you when I get back.
If this woman's close to retirement, she must have delivered literally hundreds of babies.
True.
So how is she going to remember the one we want at all?
It was New Year. Charity was really young, and I'm hoping it stood out. And if it didn't, she'll have access to the records here. Maybe she'll take pity on us and help us find what we need.
Even though there's data protection and all that.
Yeah, why do you think I'm wearing a dog collar and a smile? Irene Stocks, yeah.
Not in today. Sorry.
Can we leave a message?
Or maybe you could help?
If it's about a patient, I can't talk to you without permission. Sorry.
It's not a current patient.
She gave birth here in 1990, but the baby died, and we're trying to trace what happened to him. The mother left before she knew.
Well, she's here now. Don't tell them anything.
Charity.
No. I said no and I meant no.
I heard what you said in the car. She had to explain. I'm sorry.
Yes, so am I. Forever being stupid enough to trust you.
Charity, I know it might not look like it, but we were trying to protect you.
This isn't a mystery to solve. This was my life. I lived it. It was real.
I know, and I'm so sorry. Right, come on.
You went behind my back again.
This is different.
It's exactly the same.
I swear it's not. We were going to find out what we could and then leave it there. Your decision. No police, nothing. I wouldn't do that to you again, I promise.
You're a bit late to find anything here, aren't you?
Harriet's traced this midwife who might remember you. That's who we came to see. How did you know where we were?
Because I was just passing. Deb's wanted something from the canteen.
Right, is she any better?
She didn't seem it, no. God, I hate hospitals. I was going to tell you about him. My son. That day, but, you know, after saying all that other stuff,
You don't have to explain.
I blocked it out. For ages, I had to.
Harriet thinks you might need this. Perhaps you wouldn't have told her if you didn't. Maybe you've got questions too.
Yeah, maybe.
And if you get the answers, then you might feel like you can let him go.
How does the digging him up part fit into that?
You decide. If we found him, you'd have complete control.
What, like I did today?
Charity, if you want to let him rest, then we let him rest. But it would prove that you were underage. That you couldn't consent. We'd have a much better chance of getting him for rape.
Only if he was a match.
You were at his place for months. He'd have to be, wouldn't he?
He wasn't always on his own. A couple of them were police. Because I'd listened through the door after, and it was obvious. Probably why it went away so fast when I reported him. And each time he brought someone new, I'd try every trick in the book to get him on side. Begged. Cried. All of it. But even the ones who made promises never dared cross him. Said they'd come back for me, but they never did. So I stopped trying.
Oh, we'll tell them that. They'll have to look at everyone he worked with, test their DNA. I mean, one of them might be a match even if Bales isn't.
But we've nothing to match them to.
Yet. Every man who stepped in that flat knew it was wrong. Every single disgusting one of them. You were a kid. And they should have helped you, but they didn't. They don't deserve to get away with it, to be out there somewhere having a cosy little life like nothing even happened.
No pressure then.
I'm sorry. But you know, if we stop looking, it doesn't mean he won't get found. If Bales knows that's the only thing that'll incriminate him, he'll want rid of it.
No. He never knew I was pregnant.
Are you sure?
I'm sure. First time I got pregnant, I didn't have a clue. My dad only talked about racing, drink and God. He warned me off lads, but I never put two and two together. Just thought babies got delivered to the hospital. After Debbie, it was the one thing I knew I couldn't stand. I could take the rest of it, but just not that again. So I tried to make it go away on my own. It's the only thing I could think of. He used to keep me drunk a lot at the beginning. So he didn't mind me necking it. Brought me as much as I wanted. I know it sounds bad.
You were scared.
Not just of having a baby. Of what he'd do to me if he knew. Because that'd be a problem then, wouldn't I? One he might need to get rid of. There's no way I could tell him. I was so skinny. Half-starved. Didn't get much of a bump at first, but I knew I had to stop it before I was showing.
But it didn't work.
Kid was a scrappy little thing, wasn't he? He wasn't ready to give up. And he wanted me to know it. He gave me a sign. I remember it really clearly. One minute it was just me, hating Bellsy's guts and feeling sorry for myself. And then suddenly, there was two of us. So I stopped. Looking back, I must have done a load of damage already. But I started to hope that I might save it. That we'd get out. That it would be mine. And that my dad couldn't take it off me. And I'd make up for stuff. Have a second go after Debs. It was like I wasn't alone for the first time in ages. And he'll never know this. But I'm pretty sure that little boy saved my life.
Because I had a ticking clock, didn't I? I had to get my act together. Be smarter than him. And I was tons, but he had all the advantages. So I had to find one for myself.
No, I'm telling you, you're not bringing anybody else through that door. I won't do it no more. I can't.
So I wound him up.
No more.
I was good at that.
No, I mean it. I said no.
He left me alone sometimes after he knocked me about. But he underestimated me. Like a lot of people did back then. I told you I lived at his keys, didn't I? First car I ever stole. Drove his own squad car to the station. I would have killed to see his face when he saw it was gone.
But you didn't tell them about the baby.
I thought he'd find me, do something. I didn't want to give him another reason to come after us. I managed to talk a mate into letting me crash at hers. I went into labour not long after. Told them I was Deborah at the hospital, to be safe. I don't know how far along I was, but I knew it was too soon.
I know how scary that is. I can't believe you had that on top of everything else.
Well, I was beaten, half-starved, borderline alcoholic. My baby never stood a chance. I was an idiot to think I could save him.
Did you have anybody with you at the hospital?
No.
Dad, I'm not, please.
I rang my dad, but
Just come get me.
he'd heard I was on the game, so he didn't want to know. Stay away. Don't tell anyone. So I had to do it again. On my own.
All right, love. Just try and breathe, okay?
But it was different to Deb's. Something wasn't right.
Okay. Just a moment. Back in a moment. Dr. Fenwick?
Yeah?
It's a bit of a problem at the moment. I've had a check, but I'm wondering if maybe the umbilical cord's wrapped around its neck or something. But if you could just have a check. Yeah.
They said something about him being in distress. And all I could think of was that it was my fault because I drank and I didn't want him.
No, it sounds like a complication. And they happen. They happen. They can happen to anyone.
That's it. Good girl. Good girl. Just one more. Just one more. Come on. Stay strong. That's it. That's it. I can see it coming. It's coming. Good girl. Well done.
They told me I had a little
Got a boy.
But he didn't cry. He didn't cry. And they were trying to help him, but everything was so quiet.
What's going on? It's all right, love. They just need to check he's okay, all right? Just relax.
And I just knew. That quiet was the worst thing I'd ever heard.
It's okay, okay? It's all right.
So I asked them what was up with him.
You need to give him a minute. Sometimes they just need a minute, okay? You must be exhausted.
They just said that I should prepare myself. He wasn't breathing on his own. He told me to stay put and wait. But I had this little hat that I'd bought for him, and I got it into my head that he might be cold without it. So I went to see where he was. And I saw them trying to bring him round. He was dying. Right in front of me. And I couldn't stand it. So I left him. I left him all on his own.
You're gonna be all right.
I don't want Bales to know. I don't want him to know that that child even existed. And I don't need to find him. I want him to rest, left alone. He's passed away. And that's that.
I think he wants to see you in the new year with us.
Well, hello. Welcome to the world, little fella. Your mummy got a bit upset. But she'll be back soon. I promise.
Well, if you've been affected by Charity's story, you can visit itv.com/advice for support information.